The following program was originally scheduled to air on January 20th, 2019.
Your Humanities Half-hour is brought to you by the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.
Hafidades and Tiro, welcome to your Humanities Half-hour. I'm Catherine Perry. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a federal holiday in the U.S., and it's celebrated on the third Monday of every January. It honors, of course, the achievements of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a Baptist minister influenced by the teachings of Gandhi, who advocated the use of nonviolent means to end racial segregation. Here's what Encyclopedia Britannica says about his life. He first came to national prominence during a bus boycott by African Americans in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. He founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957 and led the famous 1963 March on Washington. The most influential of African American civil rights leaders during the 1960s, he was instrumental in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination in public accommodations, facilities, and employment. His work was also influential in the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. King was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1964. This week, we took to the streets to ask members of our Marianas community what Martin Luther King Day means to them.
Hi, my name is Alvin Diestro, and what Martin Luther King Day means to me is about human rights, how everyone is entitled to their own rights. Everyone should be treated equal, and that no one should be downgraded or looked down upon or discriminated. Basically, everyone is the same, whether you're white or black or Asian or you're male, female, LGBTQ.
My name is Jake Manamba. I think Martin Luther King's Day, for me, the meaning means a day of celebrated where a man helped bring equality to the U.S. and I think it's just celebrating him and the accomplishments that he achieved. Just bringing equal rights to white and black, I guess, and just fighting for African Americans everywhere, that everyone's equal in the world. And I really do believe that everyone's the same. There's no one different. If you're a person, you're a person. Nothing else. That's what I believe.
Hi, my name is Shane De Leon Guerrero. I really never thought about it, but I've always thought that it was just a holiday within the year, take the day off. But after going to school, learning about it, it was really like a celebration for Martin Luther King. And the day he, brought up things about civil rights and ensuring that everyone understands that everyone is equal in a way. And so just basically like a celebration of him sticking out, making sure everybody understands. Pretty much I've never really thought about it. I've seen people that were discriminated and stuff like that, but me personally, I don't think I've ever dealt with that. I think it's because the place that I live in here in Saipan, I don't really see much racism. Everyone's very friendly and they're really, I don't really see any racism here in Saipan. Or I believe Saipan is a great place to be in. I don't think anybody discriminates. There is a little bit, but a lot of people don't really discriminate here on island. It's much more of a friendly, family-oriented place. I don't really think there's much discrimination here on island. It's a great place to be.
So I go by the name of Don Manibusan, and what does Martin Luther King Day mean to me is really just to celebrate a pioneer in the American history. He really swam against the tide. He did. He made a change in the course of history. He made a ripple effect, that he really fought for the rights of not only his people but for all of mankind. That no matter your age, race, color, or where you came from, that everybody has an equal right. Even though at the time people's view of different races didn't really match up, didn't really mean that everybody was equal, but he fought for that right. And for that, I really appreciate him, going through those challenges and, once again, swimming against the tide. For me, it just really made me appreciate more of humanity, because growing up through life, I've seen people with different outlooks on life, have their differences, especially in regards to race. But for me, I never really thought race should be even an issue. Like, everybody's all human. We should all really be treated as equal. And I really appreciate pioneers such as himself to really realize that.
My name is Philip David. Well, man, it's honestly, there's a lot to say about it, that Martin Luther King Day, especially for what Martin Luther King fought for. And it just, that, I guess the day represents the day that he opened civilization's eyes to wanting equalism for everybody, not just for white power, not for black power, not for gay power. No, it's for equal opportunity, equal rights for everybody. And so, if to shorten it up, it's just, I think Martin Luther King Day it's a day where we need to remember for the person that spoke out the most for equal rights. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people could have spoke out, but he put a movement into it, and the movement led to a day being celebrated for him, allowing to let everyone know that what he thinks needs to be spoken out, which is equal rights for everybody, religion, whatever your sexuality is, right? Whatever your race is, your color is, it doesn't matter. He spoke out, and which gave the people a way and a passage to accept that exact same thing, what everyone thought, which is equal rights, equal civil rights. And just wanting to, he just wanted to speak out for himself, but he actually started speaking out for the whole country, and is what I think Martin Luther King Day means in my definition. Yeah, I can't say that I was there on the day, but what I can say, it's affected generations to come, because I probably wouldn't have been here if Martin Luther King didn't fight for civil rights, right? We probably would have been overpowered by a certain right, one person's greediness or selfishness to just want their way of things, right? But Martin Luther wanted equal rights, for everyone to choose their own journey, their own path down life. And so I guess it affected me because I'm here today. I'm able to enjoy the fruits from the divine tree of being able to choose whatever life I want to go down, right? Whatever religion I want to embrace, whatever person I want to be, personality I want to embrace. I'm able to do that because of Martin Luther being able to fight for that at the time. And so he has affected generations to come. And I guess you can say he has affected me by giving me options, giving me opportunities, giving me, the ability to choose civil rights. Yeah.
This is Your Humanities Half-hour.
Did you know that you can donate up to $5,000 to the Humanities Council through the CNMI Education Tax Credit Program? Donations from individuals and corporations qualify and can be used to offset your local wage and salary tax, BGRT, and earnings tax. Call our office at 235-4785 to see how you can support humanities programs in our community and obtain a tax credit for your donation. Sizuus Maasi, Olomai, and thank you.
Welcome back to Your Humanities Half-hour. Today we're talking about civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., who was actually born on January 15th, and MLK Day is now celebrated as a national holiday in the United States every third Monday of the month. King, of course, was the chief spokesperson for nonviolent activism in the civil rights movement, which successfully protested racial discrimination in federal and state law. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King began to turn his work to winning economic equality for poorer Americans. In 1968, he intended to revive his movement through an interracial Poor People's March on Washington. But King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968. The campaign for a federal holiday in his honor began soon after his assassination, and President Ronald Reagan signed the holiday into law in 1983. It was first observed about 3 years later. This week, we asked members of our Marianas community, what does MLK Day mean to them?
Hi, my name is Maya, and I've been asked what Martin Luther King's Day means to me. First of all means respect. Respect that all lives matter. Not just black or white, but all lives. Love means to love not just your family, but everybody around you, no matter what race or sexuality or religion, but to love. Equality, coming together as one, becoming one people in this world and not divided in different nations. Trust, having trust between each country and everybody. And hope for a better future for all generations to come. Martin Luther King's Day, even if I'm a Pacific Islander, taught me to love everybody that's around me, no matter what race they are or religion. And I planted that into my child, so she grew up, or she's growing up now to do the same. Because of Martin Luther King's example, I taught my child to be the same person, to love and respect other people, no matter where they come from or their background.
Hi, I'm Asipa Gumero, and the question is, what does Martin Luther King Day mean to me? And one word that pops up in my mind is celebration. It's a celebration of human beings and accepting everyone, one another, regardless of your background, your beliefs, your culture, your race, and really uniting with respect to one another. I also think of it as history of a time when there was a struggle to make this clear and fair for everyone of the challenges some people were going through, but really the need to overcome that and unite. And this individual, Dr. Martin Luther King, was someone that really helped break that ice for everyone. And I believe that's why we celebrate it. Personally, is the courage that he had, or probably had to build, to be able to stand up, not just for his issues that he was going through, but for everyone else's issues. That was huge, and I thought that's probably the biggest thing, just thinking about what was going through his mind, his feelings, his heart, his family, what his family had to endure. That courage, that's pretty strong. That's a whole new level of courage that he had to go through.
A question for you to answer. How does it feel to be looked at the same way that everybody else is looked at? Everyone else is the same, no one else is different. We're just all together having fun, different varieties. How does that feel for you?
Happy.
Happy. Do you like learning different languages? Do you like doing different things, seeing different people?
I like doing different languages, like Chinese, learning Chinese.
So do you think that if you only learned, like your dad is from, only the place that I'm from, do you think that it will be a good thing that you only learn that, or Would you be happy to learn from mommy's culture, from the Chinese
Everybody's culture.
Why do you think that's a good thing?
Because everybody has chosen for their naturals.
Everybody has something to add to the table, right? That's what makes the world what?
A happy place.
My name is Jermaine Ketchin. I'm a middle school teacher over at Dan Middle School. What does Martin Luther King Day mean to me? Man, it means a number of things, but I'll break it down and keep it short. I mean, the biggest thing that I think about when I go back over what I know and what I understand, when it comes to Martin Luther King Day, is just to learn that we all are on the same page, or need to be on the same page, and need to learn from each other to be equal and understand each other's input when it comes to culture, when it comes to lifestyle and language. So it should not be any type of setbacks that we continue to have today, which that dream needs to continue to work. It's time to start looking back at the importance of family. No matter what race, culture, creed, background, whatever you come from, we all looking towards just being happy as a people and growing as this world continues to move forward. That is the focus. Just learn to love each other no matter where we come from. I would have to say personally is to educate myself of my own race, my own background, my history, and understand where I'm coming from, so that way I can have valid input when there's issues that I see other people dealing with when it comes to culture, when it comes to language, with issues that we deal with daily. You know, when it comes to everybody saying like, wait, my race is better than yours, or my language is better than yours, or my culture, whatever it is. All of it makes us all great. That's the most important thing. If we had just one race, the world would be a horrible place, truthfully. It's better to have the variety and all of us working like a locomotive, just pushing to make us all better.
My name is John, and what Martin Luther King Jr. Day means to me is that it shows courage. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for a cause to end discrimination. He wanted to fix a problem in his own way, getting others to understand that everyone will always be the same. Despite different colors, different race, and whatsoever, his actions showed others that he wasn't afraid, even if he had to go through trials and problems. He stood his ground and showed everyone that violence would never be the problem. He wanted to show how faithfulness can be a strong thing in everyone, whether you have a different religion, ethnicity, or disability. We are made strong and to work together as a whole. The number one thing that I can say is that I can be proud of what I am today. I can say I'm proud to be what I am. I am a proud Filipino, and having this kind of courage, this kind of hope inside me because of what Martin Luther King did for everyone, to show that he wasn't afraid to be what he was, then I can say that I am proud to be myself too.
We hope you've learned a little bit more about this extraordinary leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., during our time today. So, what does MLK Day mean to you? Were you ever involved in the civil rights movement of the 60s? Or are you involved somehow in protecting rights today? We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can send a message to Northern Marianas Humanities Council at northernmarianashumanities.org, or it's easier on Facebook or Instagram. There are 670 Humanities. That's 670 Humanities. This has been your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry.
This program was supported by a We the People grant awarded to the Northern Marianas Humanities Council from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities or the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.